Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another day of the North American Challenger League. Do want to thank you guys for joining us tonight. I am Reed Rapid Melton. Joining me is Chris Studio Grant. We're here to take you through 5 excellent games coming your way, but some international action before we start things off. First game of the night will be Seven Wars Lyon Gaming from Mexico. It's a Brazilian organization, bought a Mexican team, and now they're playing here in NACL. They're going up against the Chinese powerhouse that are LMQ Tianci iBUYPOWER. And I don't know, you don't get to see too many international tournaments or meetings here, especially in the challenger scene. So I'm excited for tonight.
It's so rare. There's very few teams that will actually leave the country or even play outside the country. I believe the team from Mexico, Lyon, is playing with a higher ping from the country. And, of course, LMQ has traveled stateside. So it's a really cool interaction. It's going to be definitely the merging of some different metas, as we've already seen some other picks coming out from Lyon. For example, Zach Top. Both teams, though, coming off some losses. Yesterday, Team 8 just, well, they ate up LMQ, and then Lyon could not get a roar going for themselves. So it'll be interesting to see how these teams respond to the losses from yesterday.
Exactly. Like you said, some strange picks. You also have Evelyn Jungle as a really big power pick for Thiak. The only problem is that Thiak apparently cannot join us for today's game. That's what we were waiting on for the delays. So it's actually going to be a jungle sub. Torgun the God will now be subbing in here, formerly known as TPA Torgun. I don't think he's actually associated with TPA, but that was his old name if you guys remember him by that back in solo queue. He'll be subbing in for Thiak, and Thiak, really one of the big power hitters for Lyon Gaming. Really, I don't know, taking a hit there. We'll see what Torgun can do as a sub.
It's going to be a little bit rougher for them, of course, going up against LMQ. Even though they did lose yesterday, they're still a very solid team overall. One of the first place NACL contenders. And I do think Lyon have a chance, but it's going to be rough. They got to see if they can coordinate themselves. Maybe bust out some new tech, see what Torgun has. But picks and bans have already started, so we can go ahead, dive on in there. Lyon will be losing, I believe, 2 bans for an unannounced sub, but they might have been late as well, so that might be all their bans gone.
Exactly. So I'm not sure exactly how many they lose. I think it is actually going to be all of them
all
gone
3,
because they were both late and using an unauthorized sub. So we got everything taken care of as far as the ban category is concerned, but still having to ban out Kassadin. Yeah, I've been reading a lot of mixed decisions about that. It's like, is he still really good? Is he not really good? Some interesting changes to him on the PvE. A lot of weird thoughts concerning him, but better safe than sorry.
Yeah, the overall result seems to be he is good now. Give it a month or so. We'll see if that changes.
Right.
But they nerfed his early game, but that's never been his problem. The problem's always been the mid to late game where he just crushes everybody. But we have the LeBlanc pick and a Lulu response from LMQ. This is actually a tough lane for LeBlanc just because Lulu, unless you chain silence her, the shield and the ultimate will give her so much sustain against LeBlanc that she can't really burst her down.
Yeah, and the strange thing is that you're first picking LeBlanc. Like, LeBlanc is not so good a mid laner that there are not hard enough counters to make you not want to first pick her. One of the biggest, or one of the most powerful mid laners right now is there's only one banned out, is of course Lulu. And that's something that Zhao Weizhao is very, very good at. But the other thing to look at is that, you know, it's a LeBlanc, and what team comps do you really want to play that into? You've got most champions available. Only 3 bans means there's a lot left out there. And while Heimerdinger and Master Yi will probably not be the picks, it'll be interesting to see what Lyon Gaming go for, just because they have a little bit of an interesting playstyle. They do play Draven, which is a champion we haven't seen for a while, but it's a lock-in on Caitlyn just to take that away from Vasily.
Yeah, I was going to say, if they give Vasily Caitlyn, even though Draven can snowball, it's still a hard snowball to win, especially against Caitlyn, who would just chunk him down early with that poke. Heimerdinger is still being looked at. There we go. There's a Jungle Pantheon.
All right.
And this makes sense with the LeBlanc. Jungle Pantheon can gank aggressively early on. You can kill Lulu with Jungle Pantheon LeBlanc combo
you can kill
very
just about
effectively.
anything with Jungle Pantheon. That burst combo is going to be just unreal. You've got auto crits coming in from Pantheon, as well as just the insane early game burst damage from LeBlanc before you get magic resist. It's going to be a rough lane, but only if those ganks are what they combo together. Now, we've seen a lot of Lulus just play really safe early on just to make it through that level 5, level 6, and then they really turn on the heat. So it'll be interesting to see what they have to bring out. Again, Xerath, Annie probably also won't be the picks here. Porky does play a Tryndamere, but we're mostly used to seeing him play very sort of super tank top laners.
Yeah, Tryndamere versus Renekton, it can eventually go well for Tryndamere, but Renekton just stacks up armor, and his early game sustain. Just Renekton has such good base skills that it's hard to deal with for most champions. You can put a Wukong up there, he scales in a late game. Tryndamere is like a less effective version of that, though a better split pusher for just taking down the turrets. Could go for Zac again. Zac versus Renekton, not the worst lane.
Right, so just comfort pick there for Porky. One of the only Zac players left out there, still plays it. Big believer in the champion. He actually did draw, I think it was first blood for Lyon yesterday in that top lane versus a Renekton. So going right back into it, This time he's going up against kind of the god of Renekton and godlike there in the top lane is Ackerman. Takes that champion down, looking for the last picks. It's the double guns for Vasily, along with Moore's Thresh, and you've also got that Vi locked in at the very end for No Name.
Yeah, pretty solid team overall. The Vi for the counter initiate. We actually saw that yesterday. I'm not sure what game it was, but Pantheon ulted in. There was a Vi response, and it crushed the team fight. Pantheon just could not contend with the CC and actually some of the bursts that Vi dealt out. So it might be a good response. We'll see if that can really work out. Overall, I really like the LMQ team in terms of how standard it is. And then Lyon have their comfort picks. Everybody's going to be on a champion they feel great with. The one exception is that Torgun is, of course, subbing in, but he himself is not exactly on a unknown champion to himself.
That's true. He is a very high elo challenger jungler. I mean, it's a great choice. I feel like with a lot of other junglers like Odd Orange and Panzer Dragon, you've also got who's the other guy? Oh, Ziplock's still out there playing around for a few teams. So there's a lot of really high caliber jungle talent out there. Nice to see Torgun get his time to shine. We'll have to see if he can shine here on Lyon as they face off against the Chinese powerhouses LMQ, Tianzi, iBUYPOWER. We'll get a chance to watch that game when we come back, but before we head out, I do want to give a shout out to our sponsors. You can check them out right down below the stream. They are Loot Crate for $13.37 a month. You get a crate of loot delivered right to your door, full of awesome geek gamer nerdy apparel and some cool gadgets in there too. You definitely want to head over to lootcrate.com and check them out. You can also see the Phoenix logo right down below the screen, where you can head over to phoenixcollection.com and check out any of their impeccably crafted mice, keyboards, mouse pads, and headsets. Just came out with a new one of those, so head over to Phoenix Collection and check them out.
And last but most certainly not least is LOL Class. LOL Class is a great way for you and your peers to go ahead, listen to an hour-long class from your favorite LCS Pro or Challenger Pro. Classes we've had in the past include Hotshot GG teaching LeBlanc and Draven teaching Sneaky teaching Draven.
Draven teaches.
Yeah, there we go. Draven teaches Sneaky. I mean, Draven teaches all of us in the end. But it's a great system. The classes are inexpensive. They're very personal. You got to ask your questions. The pro gets to see them on like a 20, 30, 40,000 person stream. So it's very interactive, very cool. But with that, we've got Lyon, Seven Wars Lyon, going up against LMQ, iBUYPOWER Tianzi. Overall, very cool teams. I want to see the international clash, but we'll have that in a bit here at the North American Challenger League.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And after all of that, starting things off with a little bit of a pause, we're finally back into the game. It's 7 Wars Lyon Gaming. Your team in the blue on the left-hand side of the screen taking on LMQ Tianci iBUYPOWER. Their team on the right in the red. And starting this off, it's going to be an international kind of affair here as the Mexican and kind of Brazilian Lyon Gaming take on the Chinese powerhouse of LMQ. It's nice to see some international competition, even here in this challenger scene. So getting this underway, shouldn't see too much level 1 action, but we actually did yesterday, so not going to count it out.
I mean, we do see the ballooning from Zach, which is just awesome on its own, but both sides went for the 5-point spread. Defensive starts, it's kind of what you expect. There's actually a little bit of a grouping from Seiya and Ian towards that bottom part of the map. In case someone walks in the brush, they might be looking for a route into a trap combination. So LeBlanc tosses out the shackles, out comes a trap in case someone's out of position, but Distortion's already been leveled up. Just going ahead, scouting out a bit, staying extra safe in that part of the jungle.
Yeah, I actually remember seeing some support. There's a cheesy strat that some Chinese teams used to run. They'd run teleport support LeBlanc. She'd TP to the outer turret and then a distortion over the Baron pit and drop a very early ward almost before anybody could get there. It was a really weird thing to see, but I saw the same kind of idea there. You just get a lot of early mobility and vision because you can distortion in, check it out, and then come right back to your sigils. So it's nice to see some early scouting, but no early information given away just yet. But the first pick, LeBlanc, let's talk about that, just because it's a very strong sort of meta-defining champion, but then again, so is Lulu, and giving Lulu away now, how much is that really going to punish 7 Wars Lyon?
Well, this is going to be a rough early game. Distortion can be pretty easily punished by Lulu. Like some champions, like Ziggs, for example, LeBlanc Distortion's in, she'll land the silence. It's hard to land a bouncing bomb because she can always dodge it with her own Distortion. Lulu just has to press help picks onto LeBlanc, then out comes the Glitter Lance with picks right behind LeBlanc, and it's incredibly difficult to dodge. So it's definitely going to be a lane where Lulu has the early pressure. It's about the ganks. If they do come in, Pantheon can try and shut down Lulu, which will give LeBlanc a huge lead in lane. If not, Lulu just kind of controls the lane, keeps pushing, and doesn't give a chance for LeBlanc to either farm nor roam. You can actually see a lot of harass at the bot lane, though, as that Lucian and Thresh damage actually coming out really early, but it's been traded back quite efficiently. Caitlyn is looking for that long-range poke, trying to get 1 or 2 auto attacks in.
Oh, and there's actually the Ignite right into a pull on Ner'zhul, and you can see more. More just went all the way in on that. Ner'zhul didn't really move a whole lot during that, so not sure if he just kind of accepted his fate. Didn't flash out there, so nice sort of accepting that. We'll still have that summoner spell when he comes back to lane, but it's already first blood from an LMQ bottom lane that has been met with some recent struggles, but it started to look a lot better in recent games.
Well, Thresh was backing up, and that was a really smart play coming out from more. He was looking for the flash or just disengagement. If Annie did try and run away, Thresh was already in position. She had low enough HP where Lucian could easily pick up the kill, but that was the extra bit of play, the extra, hey, just in case Annie flashes, I'm going to be here for that safe pickup, and we'll burn the cooldown. So yeah, that's a rough start. Annie, of course, someone who, when she gets hooked in, even with that Doran shield start, just gets blown up in the early engagements. You really need to either build super tanky with, let's say, Doran shield and a sight stone before you can start actually taking damage, and if not, you cannot get hit by Leona stones, you cannot get hit by Thresh hooks, you cannot get hit by really anything.
And you can already see some very early damage traded away there on Zach. Porky does have a ton of sustain just off those little bloblets in lane, but the only problem is when you're playing this aggressively, as Ackerman, you make yourself a little bit more vulnerable to ganks, and it's never the early game that's been Porky's problems, especially since Zach does have that the passive that keeps him alive, revives him again, to maybe save him from some early burst situations. But mid lane chain's gonna land there, lashes, and a lot of creep damage there onto Zhao. Keeps him out of turret range, but does make that a very favorable trade.
Yeah, this is going to be a rough bottom lane, actually. Ian taking so much damage. That level 2 Lucian, now level 3, just does so much ridiculous burst. You can see Annie trading back quite efficiently. Going to be a decent amount of AP on the Annie in the bot lane, but that's all about not getting hooked in. And you can see Ackerman, he's going for that push, and what's happening is Zach can't last hit that efficiently under turret, and he's taken enough harass from Ackerman, who's just going to constantly be in his face, that some minions are being denied. It's not a huge trounce in lane. He's not picking up the kill quite yet, but he's denying CS and making Zach fall behind. It's a very even matchup for the most part, so if Zach stays behind, it can be incredibly rough if he doesn't have a way to come back. Like, he doesn't have great wave clear, doesn't have this great all-in that will work on Renekton. He's just going to kind of have to try and clear at the turret and slowly farm his way back in.
Now, Porky was able to put a little bit of extra damage there onto Ackerman, but it should be able to heal up there with Kaldamik. There are a lot of minions around him. So I want to see a bottom lane be the the real big aggression lane. You've already picked up 1 kill there for LMQ. Can we see 1 more? Or maybe a counter kill. Torgon the God's down there. He's just going to be doing double golems for now, but with as pushed as Moore and Vasily are, could see a chance for some counterplay down there. No level 6s anywhere just yet, but as soon as that hits, Pantheon ganking bottom lane, so effective.
Pantheon ganking bot lane, we can see Vi go to any lane. If LeBlanc is pushed up, she can be dove. If not, you know, she'll make it past the turret. I really want to see some pressure bot lane, like you said, though, because Lucian and Thresh, they're pushed up. The ward coverage is decent, but not massive. Of course, Pantheon has really high base move speed, so you can easily kind of navigate through a ward and still manage to come around and get a gank out successfully. Regardless, though, Pantheon could be rushing to level 6, could be going for those man drop ganks, which are huge, and Ackerman just lands a Cold the Meek, he lands a stun, and it chunks out about a quarter of Porky's HP. And he has to catch about 3 or 4 bloblets to really kind of regain that health, so it's just, he's always on the defensive now.
Yeah, and Zach has really high base regen as well, so it's nice to see him be able to passively sustain in that lane, but Ackerman still being a really big bully, and not a whole lot Porky can do about it. Now, if Ackerman really wants to, he can maybe pop that passive under turret, but ooh, actually the engage onto Zhao. Zhao gets the shield there, and with No Name right on time, Seiya does distortion out safely, but at the same time, it's all that aggression kind of for naught.
I mean, the Ignite is burned. That's really what's going to be shutting down, say, in the mid lane. Wall growth is still available on Lulu, but no mana for Wei Xiao to really pop that off. I would expect him to try and farm at the turret, then go back to base, as he's just a little bit too low on Porky.
Oh, there's the Ignite onto Porky. He's going to try to bounce it back into turret. 2 turret shots there. The passive is there. It's actually going to be Torgon. Can he kill Ackerman in time before he kills off all the bloblets? He's there. And the bloblets respawn that cell division passive, keeping Porky alive.
And that was incredible play coming out from Pantheon. Had he waited, had he been scared off by the Renekton, which was a scary Renekton, could have taken him out had he had Slice and Dice up, actually, and the stun. But he knew the cooldowns were not available. He knew he could not fight him off. And Renekton, he was going to kill Zac, because Cold and Meek in that tiny little area, especially with all the bloblets grouping up, as they do, to regain Zac's control, that would have been 1 Cold and Meek, and the Dominus damage would have just chunked him down. So really smart play by Pantheon to be brave in the face of a Renekton, knowing his cooldowns were not available.
But at the same time, that gank timing comes at the same time of red buff respawn. And immediately right on top of that is No Name, steals the red buff away. Now he's going to go back to his blue buff and probably will give this over to Zhao. Zhao, yeah, coming over to pick it up. So red buff steal, that's nice, but at the same time, a kill traded right back on to onto Torgun's Pantheon, and that's going to set him up very strong for this early game. He's up a longsword and boots over No Name's partner. Bottom lane, there's Zool. There's the culling coming down, cuddling Annie there. Not able to withstand the force of that, and that's Vasily taking down the 2nd kill of the game for LMQ.
And same thing as last time, got hit by a death sentence, too much damage from Lucian, too much burst. Now with level 6, that culling, that solid finisher, not of course the most reliable spell for the middle of the fight, but good cleanup afterwards. Zac up at the top lane, did get an assist out of that. Still behind up by CS by quite a bit, actually. Looks to be about 27. And he is about equal on lane with Renekton. You can see that Zac has gone for the tankier build with Giant Spell and Cloth Armor, or Renekton's going for a bit of a hybrid. Normally you see a Tiamat rush, but because Zac does have quite a bit of magic damage, he's going for the safer option of picking up a pickaxe to keep himself alive, and then going for Negatron Cloak just to survive the really sustained magic damage Zac can deal out. If the minion waves stay alive for Zac, he will just constantly pressure, and here comes the Pantheon.
Oh, Torgon's coming in again. Pantheon will be coming in here as Elastic Slingshot, not going to hit a knock-up, and Ackerman just able to get out of there. The slow does land, and we're actually going to get that change CC. Let's bounce is there as well. Ackerman's going to go down if he keeps getting bounced on. There's not enough follow-up. Porky, dude, you have the damage. No Name's already able there to come in and pick up 1 kill. Porky's going to have to flash in there. Hits the stretching strike at long range. Ackerman almost going down here. Is he going to bite the dust? No. Sustains up there at the very end. Man, if you had to pick one time to have a Negatron Cloak, that's a pretty good place to have it. Ackerman stays alive.
And Ackerman with that last second stun, actually, he was going to go down had he not turned around and CC'd Zac. Zac would have gotten 1 more spell off, picked up the kill, would have made that a 2-for-1, still in favor of LMQ, but much more even. Now that 2-for-0, that perfect turnaround at the last second keeps Zac from just murdering him with that bloblet being flung at him. And, you know, LMQ now ahead 4-1. Their mid lane is someone who doesn't need a snowball. Their lanes actually don't really need a snowball at all, but they are. Lucian's incredibly far ahead. Dragon now going down with so many members down for Lyon. This is rough. They're down by 3.5k. They have a mid laner that wants to either farm or pick up kills, and actually going for the Athene's build we've seen this before. The issue is LeBlanc just won't have that much burst damage early on, and it looks like time has stopped except for that one minion.
You know, the minion, he's sitting on that other minion. It's just not responding at all. I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. But here for Minions, teaching us a few lessons. We'll try to get our spectating back where it's supposed to be. At least for now, I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to think about what's happening. But I'm just stuck on that minion. It's like, why are every other minion stopped? That one guy gets to keep going. It's a mystery we may never know the answer to. But I don't know. We should be getting back in here as we reconnect to everything. 7 Wars, they kind of won their top lane and then unwon it right there. It was a nice idea, but there's a point where you just have to stop chasing.
And I mean, using the man drop on Renekton, if he has Slice and Dice available and he's not in the center of the circle, he's gonna get caught or going to be able to escape for at least a few seconds. Renekton didn't have flash, that's why they chased him down and were able to actually catch up. But it's such a long and risky chase when you're going for that Renekton. Not centered immediately, not stunned immediately. Had they aimed the man drop a little bit better, which is harder to do, it is a long cast time, it could have been successful, but not the right positioning, unfortunately.
All right, well, apparently the Serverinos are having some connection problems, and we'll have to see if we can maybe coax them back to life and get everything back and ready to go. But as we go ahead and get back into everything, we'll have to see if the players are on par with the rest of us, and hopefully be able to get you back in this game. It was a little bit slow starting, and now it's a little bit slow finishing, but it's actually really, really exciting to see some, like I said, international competition. So already with some strengths down there in the bottom lane, just the 2v2 lane, duo lane winning for LMQ, but top lane, the ganks really working out. Torgun as a sub, helping keep Porky alive and keep him back into the game. Now we are actually going to go back into the game. Server's still having some issues, so might have to pause this here, but for the time being, looks like we're back.
Unfortunately, it looks like we did miss some action. Top lane turret did go down.
I'd say a little bit more than some action.
Now 7-1. It's a little bit rough, but
yeah, we're going to actually take a little bit of a rewind, replay thing just so you guys can check out what we missed while the servers were preventing us from seeing all the action, because when I left, it was about 1 to 2, and we were seeing some scattered action across the map. But as we try to find out where exactly all of this was happening, we're at least going to catch one more kill, as I believe Torgun's going to get turned around here. And there's actually the picks at long range, and now he fires the glitter lances. I thought that was going to hit the picks, but does not look like
special at the Pantheon instead.
More. It's like, what are you doing in my jungle? And he's like, well, I just wanted more.
Yeah, I just want to go ahead and pick up that kill. But unfortunately for Pantheon, didn't go the safe way, straight back to base. Could have been looking for that last bit of jungle farm, as he could pick up one of those
and more takes the big golem from over the wall. Why are there other players on LMQ? Can we just have like more running around making crazy plays like that?
He needs other players to distract from, so he can go ahead and just camp up the jungle, pick up them kills. Ackerman at the top lane, dueling versus Zac. Zac just doesn't really have any defense. Has a Ninja Tabby, and kind of tanky, but can't really deal with the Tiamat quite yet. Renekton's base sustained is still very solid, so going to be a rough lane from up there. Now, 6,000 gold lead in favor of LMQ. This is a little bit dicey for Lyon. They can try and group up, but they don't have a good group up team quite yet. Pantheon not the biggest team fight influence because he doesn't have, a massive AoE stun. He doesn't have survivability quite yet, unlike Vi, who has a little bit more reliable CC, a little bit more sustainable CC with the Vault Breaker and Assault and Battery. And it's going to be rough for 7 Wars Lyon.
All right, well, speaking of roughness, there's Mr. Tibbers coming down there. The culling going on, mostly hitting onto Leon, but or onto Ian, rather. Ace in the hole, not blocked away in time, and Ian will pick up the counter kill. The flay right into the box. Box damage does not go off, and now Ian starting to trade things back away. Death Sentence does not hit, and the angry minions won't be able to kill off Ian. There's man drop in the mid lane, though, as Silence comes out on Zhao Weizhao. No chain to land, but right into the Assault and Battery. We've got one kill coming in. Will we find the Spear for the kill? More in the bottom lane. This is Season 4, guys. Sports 1v1 AD carries. No Name coming mid, counter ganking and picking up 2 kills, and pretty sure that's what we missed while we were gone there for a second. Just deaths across the board.
Little rough. Really quickly, that ace in the hole, if you want to wonder what happened, that flash came out a little bit late from Vasily. The ace in the hole actually curved around. That's some one-style bullet curving that it went around Thresh, because at the end of the ace in the hole, Vasily was behind Thresh, but he flashed too late, so the bullet followed him around initially, and he actually gave it the pathway. So kind of odd, kind of awesome. But that one kill,
Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, but that one kill not going to be enough to make up for what's just happened. Their ganks are just falling apart. Their lanes are too far behind. Pantheon has some damage, but not enough. And Vi, just because of her levels, because of her just really, really decent scaling with the crushing or denting blows combo, it's getting so rough for Lyon. They have to keep looking for ganks, but their ganks are already failing, and they have a gank-oriented team.
Well, and No Name's already sort of ended the laning phase. Like, look, I could gank lanes, or I could just stand in the enemy jungle. Ian's kind of on the wrong side of the law down there, and also on the wrong side of the lane, as he does get picked off. And just nice positioning by Moore, sort of boxing him off there, even without using his ultimate. Was able to position aggressively and pick up another kill. 12th kill of the game here for LMQ.
Moore is employing the age-old strategy when you're ahead as Thresh. You just run at the bottom lane, and they cannot do anything to respond. They have to blow CC, especially as Annie. That's actually quite a long cooldown because you still have to recharge it. And Ian would have to just blow an escape to get away from Moore at this point with those boots mobility. If they can poke him out, he will have the boots 1 instead of boots 5 move speed with that recent change to boots mobility. But the problem really is he's coming in from the side. The ward coverage also just not really there for Lyon quite yet. They've been forced back so quickly into their base, into their inner turrets, that they don't have any coverage outside the map. They were not ready to lose all these turrets so quickly.
All right, well, No Name's really been kind of dictating the pace of this game. You can see him in 5 of the 12 kills, but those kills have really been what snowballed the lanes. Bottom lane, though, kind of an exception to that rule because it's just been no more. Okay, he misses the play, turns on the ignite, forces the flash out from Ian, but oh, Xiao Wei Zhao gets the knock up right as he goes into the brush, and even through that barrier just was not enough. Death sentence as well. Moore goes over the wall.
That flash meant nothing from Annie. Annie tried to flash over the wall to escape. Moore just lands a death sentence. A-okay with that. And this, it's brutal, man. They don't have a good response. Their team comp is made for some mid-game team fights with Zac, some really heavy ganks. Their ganks aren't going to work. Their coverage isn't there. Pantheon's going to come top lane. They might pick up Renekton, but he can slice and dice over a wall.
It's true, and not only that, but once
or
again,
he can turn around.
I would say he's going back in for the 1v2. I feel like he just wants that slice and dice. Gets it with the flash. You see a bounce in there. Let's bounce. Is it good enough? Yes. Torgun gets those auto crits, takes him down, but just like the very first kill of the game, Studio, there's a dragon, countered it out. No Name always making something happen around them. Oh my gosh. Catches it through the distortion. Now plays back the real one. Clone gets away, but still dies.
Yeah, good juke with the distortion there, but it only dodges the death sentence and actually put her closer to Thresh, so there wasn't really a good option there. That's always fun when you're sitting on the distortion and you're forcing out the recall anyways. And, you know, they kill Ackerman. Ackerman is there to waste time. We're seeing this more and more lately where there will be some laner, not necessarily the top laner, but he's the most common. He'll push forward, sacrifice himself to a gank, but something like a dragon will be picked up. And, of course, the kill response did come in. Out comes Caitlyn, going for that harass, just heading back to base as LMQ is pushing on forward. Now damaging the mid turret. All 5 up for Lyon. They have to fight this right now. And
with a slow on of Vasily, there's some potential engage, but you're engaging into an AP Lulu, and while support Lulu just has a lot of peel, this is peel and damage as well. So it's like a banana, but inside, instead of delicious fruit, there's a gun. So you want to peel, but then you've also got the damage as well.
Oh, Pantheon, Torgun. Oh, this is not good for Torgun.
All right, so he gets pulled in there. Now it's actually maybe a little bit of a dangerous place for No Name to be, but he immediately gets Mikhails and takes the lantern back out to safety. Now no deaths other than just, unfortunately, Torgun was the first to die and the only one to die. The rest of Lyon get out of there, but at what cost? Dragon's already taken, so where are LMQ going to go? It looks like the answer's back to base. Oh, Piltover Peacemaker hits, but nothing picked up.
Of course, Ackerman's still up in the top lane. Like, if you ignore the suicide pusher, he'll just take tower turrets. He'll actually just take your LeBlanc. LeBlanc does on the chain. Ackerman could go down here one more time. Very tanky, but oh, here comes Vi for the backup.
Oh, No Name's there, but wait, what? He's
waiting for it.
All right, he wanted to bait Porky into a position he could not escape from. The lantern's out there, or just wanted the assist.
Yeah, the bloblets will be going down. Nice try, guys. Nice try. He could have also Vault Breaker to the fight and just waited for the short cooldown.
Oh, that death sentence. Moore is like the scariest support I've ever seen when he's ahead. Just like what we saw last week when he was playing Annie, or I think it's actually earlier this week when he just went Death by
Oh, yeah, the DFG almost pure AP Annie that was almost 1v4ing essentially. His stuns would wipe out teams. He needed just a little bit of backup to really finish him off, but down goes the mid turret. Zac's still not alive. Ackerman at about half HP after that engagement as well, so should be able to fight if needed. The inhibitor should be pushed in relatively soon by LMQ. They don't need to overcommit, though, because their team, while it may not be better late game, with their massive advantage right now being ahead by 15,000, they don't have to rush anything. So if they ever feel unsafe, this inhibitor can stand there okay. And here comes Pantheon.
Oh, Pantheon going in, but immediately LMQ back away. Stun does land on the facility, but he's able to get out of there in time. Glitter Lance is coming through. Slow out Seiya. The culling to come out. Only kills off the clone, and Torgon just barely out of range of the tip there as culling unable to pick up a kill this time. But middle inhibitor taken down there, so I don't know what else there is left for LMQ to do other than re-engage. They're going right back in Porky.
I mean, that was a 1v3 at that point, really. Porky just going in on his own. Unfortunately, not quite tanky enough to survive that. And LMQ, if they get some kills now, they could end the game. Super Minions are starting to show up. They don't have to rush this. They don't have to wait for this. They're actually all grouped up and backing over the wall because someone does go out of position. That's a free kill. That could be the game right there.
Oh, Seiya catches them, and No Name, he bites the bait, stops his back. But it would appear as if both No Name and Zhao want to stick around for a little bit longer and just push out that top.
What scares me is just how much gold they must have in their banks right now. So let's see if we can get a check on the gold. Oh, that is 3,000 gold on Vi. That is...
And that's for a jungler.
That is a lot of gold. That is about 2/3 of Vi's gold in her inventory right now. No Name.
It's been a somewhat accelerated
game. Let's see what he bought with that. Going for the Triforce build. Triforce Vi is actually becoming more and more common. You just go for that really heavy burst initiation. Rather than go for the tankiness and going for chain vault breakers, you just go for the blow someone up build. And blowing someone up quite effective, especially when you're ahead by 16,000 gold.
Yeah, 16, 17,000 gold. It's getting up there, and at 20 minutes, that's generally not where you want to be. LMQ just coming out the gate, firing those double guns in the bottom lane, really working out for Vasily, but it's actually been more all around the map. I believe he currently has the best score on the team, 508. That guy's been dialing in some area codes across the map, and now Ackerman's going to get a little bit slowed out there, but forces those distortions out of Seiya. So Seiya gets out alive. Ackerman's about half health, but I don't think he's too concerned right now.
The one hope for Lyon is a Baron steal where somehow Pantheon does not die. Torgon has to get out of the pit, or the game just ends anyways. Or if they go for a really heavy push on this top turret, they can try and punish LMQ, and hopefully the turret can take them out. But the thing is, Ackerman's very tanky, and Vi's a little bit tanky with her just raw HP.
Seiya is pulling off some smooth moves there. Not the most consequential, but hey, it still looks good. So if you're gonna go down with the ship, you might as well be dressed in your best. Seiya will get played finally back in. No more shenanigans from you. Ackerman says no to that one, takes him out. The dive back from Porky is gonna try to get back to his turret alive, but a double kill comes in for Ackerman's Renekton. That guy is a monster. The glitter lands at long range. Zhao picks up a killing spree. Now LMQ pushing in for the win. It's only Ian left alive. They're gonna flash onto the Nexus. No. Onto the fountain, rather, and that will be the untimely demise of 7 Wars Lyon. They will fall here to LMQ. Unable to find a win since joining NACL. It's nice to see another strong performance once again from LMQ Tianzi iBUYPOWER, who will pick up the win and advance, I believe, currently. They sit in first place, but that's just because it's the first game of the night.
Yeah, it's a tied-up series. As the night progresses, we'll probably see more ties for first. There's a lot of people at the front of the pack right now. And Lyon, not their best game, unfortunately, but they've only been here 2 nights, going up against Complexity Black, going up against LMQ. Not easy opponents, especially playing in a North American league like this, I think for the first time in a few months. So, little rough for them. I hope to see some improvement. They're an awesome team to watch, and I think they do need their Thiak to really
absolutely, yeah. Thiak's a big part of the team comp. We'll see if we can get him back there for them tomorrow. But for now, we're heading into game number 2 of the night as LOL Pro take on Cognitive Gaming. We'll have that game and a whole lot more coming your way when NACL returns right after this.